them. So now first we need to figure it out how that person makes 5,000 so that they get out of the vicious circle there. So we're trying to look at that. Then I challenged a few people, brought them and said, which one of you guys can actually create a meal in 10, 20 rupees? Well, when I was going to here, I was in Kaveri hostel. I was trying to remember my room number, 57, I think. So we used to pay about 200 rupees or something, 250. That was our mess bill. And we were fed 4 times. I don't know how many times you guys are fed. Now there was a breakfast, lunch, dinner, in between there's a coffee break kind of thing. And now today you don't get that. What is your mess bill now per person per month? 1800. So my 1500 is somewhere in that range. Because this 1500 guy also has to make something, but there I think it is on a sharing basis, mess here system. It's for profit, non-profit.
There are 3 caterers from outside.
The outside people doing it. When we were there, we were like a cooperative system. So the total bill was divided among the number of meals. They arrive at a per meal, but they would come from cooperative system. That was so. Your infrastructure was not counted because the mess was there, tables were there, and the kitchen was there. So only the consumables were billed to the students. So we were trying to ask those people who can make it, how you do make those things happen. Now let's talk with somebody like you start this thing. You have 2 options. You can say somebody offers you a 20 lakhs job somewhere. And how many meals you have to serve there even if you make 1-2 rupees per meal? Just to make your own salary. So it's a big, in 20 rupees you probably have a margin of 1-2 rupees, isn't it? You need to serve them in lakhs. Because you want to make, in a year I'm talking about, you need to serve them in lakhs. Now you need to have an organization if you are selling in lakhs. If you're only selling 2, 3, fine, you can do it yourself. But if you're selling them in thousands, then you need an organization to do it. Now think about it. Then you need to you are willing to work for less price. But how about your colleagues whom you have to recruit? They need to be paid well because that capable fellows have other opportunities. Even if the person says, I get paid X amount of money, I don't need any increment because I'm also trying to do something good here. So at least protect my current salary kind of thing, it will be big there. So we are trying to, so now what I am doing is I said to a few people, say, okay, I'll pay you the management salaries, I'll pay you. Don't charge it to the meal. But now you figure it out how we want to do it kind of thing. It's a challenge, that's how people want to do it. That's very similar to it. I got into the very, very basic of that. These 800 million people need to eat meals. Can we get them something, a nutritious meal at a price? What is the model for it? And that's big. They all have to eat every day 3 times. So if somebody can work it out, any of you guys want to do this as a project, it's not too far from here, about 50-60 kilometers from here. That's what going on this thing. So we'll talk about that again. Anyway, I'll stop here, but I'll take more questions from you.
Are you saying that what you already talked about, the business not making sense, it's not breaking even from you? Is the problem that the business is simply not breaking even, or that the business is simply not profitable in those sectors? So you guys take a little more time to make even and then finally it will start making profit?
So this was behind for 3 years. So the issue was that, as I was telling that, to run these businesses which are spread out to a larger area, and every transaction value is small value.
You can hear me? Sorry? All right. The challenge was that these things were spread out, spread out across number of states. So when you have the larger geography to be covered, you have your challenges, like you need to have a district coordinators, a state coordinator like that. So these are all management positions. These are not just on the ground there. So when you added all these things, the cost of the salaries, I'm only taking initially only salaries of all these people who can make such a dispersed organization work. It has certain cost. To Traditionally, the same business is done by the people in the villages and all that. How they do it is this: I'm sitting in the village. I have this little pesticide shop, and probably I have a couple of lakhs rupees to invest. I invest. So instead of giving these 2 lakhs rupees to somebody else for interest, I will self-finance myself. So that I buy the pesticides and fertilizers and keep selling them. The margin, the way they work out is very interestingly, is about the interest, 18% to 24%. That's all, that's the margin. There's nothing like another margin kind of thing. So that is equivalent of it. So when we run that business, you and I run that business, let's say we borrowed that money as a working capital from State Bank of India. Generally, State Bank of India working capital is about 15%. So after you pay the 15%, even if I'm competing with other person there, so let's say the person is working at 24%, I still have only about 9% there to play around. This 9% is not sufficient for me to meet all my expenses, so then I have to do a bigger business. So I was giving example that add this 9%, that means if I do 100 crore business, then a 9%, I don't have 9% margin. In total I'm talking in terms of return kind of thing. So we'll add up to the salaries of these people.
So is the issue simply scalability of how much big the business is? Are you saying that current businesses which are targeted at the segment, yes, yet not big enough to meet the overheads? Like you said, you started 300 store business, and still you cannot make a profit because your overheads because the first tier was paid for. Is it that you aim to actually start with 3,000 stores to complete those overheads and then make profits?
Yes, that's feasible.
Do you think that's
Yeah, that's doable. What you said is true. That's instead of 300, you make it 3,000. These tier 1 people, they are taken care of by, let's say, the 300 stores. Then you have more there. But the challenge there is that it takes some time to move from 0 to 3,000 stores. And the funding, somebody to wait that long. So let's say I was the one who put that money. I gave instead of 25 crores, I gave 100 crores to these people to go to that level.